This next tutorial I'm going to be going through basically how I trade. When I say how I trade, this is basically a very simple way that I've found to work out how you can buy stuff and essentially sell it at a more expensive price than you bought it for. It's probably quite a basic little theory, this one, and obviously there's a lot more advanced ones that you can do in the game, and I'll probably do a more advanced tutorial at some point. But if you're just starting, this is probably a great way of just getting you going really, and getting some cash in really to start upgrading your ships. So the first thing you probably need to understand about buying and selling in Elite Dangerous is that it's pretty much the same as the real world, essentially, in the fact that economically the pricing is driven by supply and demand. So the more there is of something somewhere, then the lower the price is going to be, and the less there is of something, then the higher the price is going to be, and the lower the higher the demand is going to be. That's a basic principle, really. If you go by that principle, then you can't really go far wrong. The other key point is that in each area, but in each system, and actually to the level now of the station, there's basically different economies which basically do different things. So one example might be a high-tech economy, which is where we are now. Excuse me. High-tech economies tend to produce computers and obviously more technical electronics and things. So generally those will be cheaper at those areas because that's where they're manufactured. But of course, to build those systems, they need raw materials, and the raw materials that they need will be in very high demand because obviously they're using them to build that stuff. And if they don't have the ability to get hold of those raw materials in their area, then there'll be a demand for it, and that's where you can basically make a profit. So one example with a high tech would be that, let's say they obviously they're building electronics. To build electronics, they would require gold and silver and other precious metals, for example. So if you can get to an extraction economy, pick up some gold and silver and then take it to a high-tech economy, you're probably not going far wrong, basically. So that's just an example. I mean, like I say, there's loads of different types of industries and economies in the game. And what I've got basically is I've got a spreadsheet that I use, which is this spreadsheet here, which basically I took from a website, which is this website. That's the URL. I'll add the URL into the actual video. And essentially what this spreadsheet shows you is you basically got a list of all of the main commodities in the game. I don't think it includes the rare ones, by the way, but because those are slightly different. Again, I might do another tutorial on that at some point. And then it basically tells you of each of the different types of economies. These are at the top. So EX is extraction, RE is refinery, AG is agricultural, industrial, etc., etc. So for each of those, it tells you for each of these particular commodities which one demands it and which one sells it. So for example, if you were an extraction economy, there's a good bet that if you buy some sorry, got that slightly wrong. If you're at a refinery economy and you buy some explosives, there's a good chance that you can sell those to an extraction economy and more than likely make a profit, because this is where there would be one of the places where they would be manufactured, and this is where they're going to be in use in high demand. So you're more than likely going to make a profit. How much profit you make is then governed by a load of other factors, like other economies that might be in here. So there might be other refineries that are closer, so that might affect the pricing, or other factors, just random elements of the game, or with the pricing, or basically how much of these here are being shipped into this economy as well can also impact pricing. Apparently that is dynamic in the game, so that's something to be aware of, basically. So what I'm basically going to do is I'm going to I'm doing this completely from scratch, and I'm at a port where basically I've just landed and I've just I think I've just sold some gold. Yeah, so you can see I've sold some. Sorry, it was silver actually. Sold some silver here to a high-tech economy. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to find a commodity here that I can buy, that I can sell on to somewhere else, and make a profit. And I'm going to show you that in the actual tutorial all the way through. So, but one of the other things I'm going to look for in this commodities market is I'm going to look at the supply. And what I'm looking for basically is items in this column here that are in high, preferably high, or worst case medium supply, and those are the ones that I'm going to focus on trying to sell basically. So I'm not really, explosives is fine probably if you are just starting off the game, but for me, because I've been playing for a while now and I've got quite a reasonable bank balance, there's not a great deal of profit in explosives. I'll probably make a profit, but wouldn't be a lot. So I'm going to look for something that's slightly high price, and obviously the same applies to things like hydrogen fuel and pesticides and stuff. So I quite like the look of consumer technology there. One of the other interesting guides that is really a guide and nothing else on here is the galactic average. Now that's telling me that across the galaxy, consumer technology is basically selling for 7,031 credits on average, and I can buy it here for 6,569. So that's kind of telling me, well, yeah, if you sell consumer technology to the right economy, you're probably going to make some money if you buy it here. How much is obviously, like I say, is governed by a load of other factors, but that looks quite promising. So consumer technology is one to note. Polymers, again, it's too low a value, so I'm not really going to make much profit out of that, but might be okay if you're just starting off. Semiconductors, again, it's fairly low value. Again, that's one for a start off. Same with microbial furnaces. Agri-medicines and basic medicines, again, they're fairly low value items, so I'm not particularly interested in those. Copper, neither. Titanium, no. Here's some interesting ones, right? So these are all technology things. Advanced catalyzers. So, yeah, I mean, that's a potential. Obviously, we have to have a look on the spreadsheet, see where we can sell those to. But I like the look of this. So, auto fabricators. And we can buy those for 3,273. They're in high supply, so obviously manufacturing a lot of those here. And as you can see, the galactic average on those is 3,937. So there's going to be round about 700 credits per unit profit in those, and that will obviously fluctuate depending on where we sell them to. But I think that's probably the best bet. Those again would be good robotics, but it's quite a low value item, so again there's not going to be as much margin as there is going to be in the other things. Same with the non-lethal weapons, although those would definitely be an option, like I say, if these would be an option if you hadn't got as much credits. Basically might be a better move, and you might get more margin than you would from the high priced items. But you have to kind of work that out yourself, really. The game doesn't really tell you those things, you've got to go and work it out for yourself. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus here on the auto fabricators. Obviously, I don't know 100% for sure, but I think that's going to basically draw me more profit margin than probably the next one down, which is the resonating separators, because I know these are in high supply, so the price is probably more competitive. So what I'm going to do now, then, I'm going to go back to my spreadsheet and I'm going to find auto fabricators. And I'm going to basically find out, well, where can I sell those? What economies would buy those? So I'm just going to search for those. Here we go. Right, and I can see there that, as we know, high-tech supply those. So we can see that, the evidence of that by the commodities board. I can see that industrial demand those, so we could definitely sell them to some industrial economies. TF, not sure what that is, but that's, you might see one of those. We'll have a look on the galactic map. Refinery and industry, again, we've got industry anyway, but that's obviously a combination of the two. They demand it. And industry and extraction as well demand those as well. So I think if we can find a good industrial civilization somewhere on the galactic map, we can we'll probably do pretty good out of those. So I'm going to go back into the game. And now I'm going to go into the galactic map. Whoops. So we're looking for industry. Just to recap while that loads, it should be somewhere that we can sell those. So I'm just going to. That's where we are at the moment, LHS 3505. So I'm just going to look at some of these. So some of these I don't actually have available data on. I'm going to try and, if I can, find somewhere as close as possible. So there we can request the data for. So Volongu. So I've requested the data now, and I'm just going to go into the system view. See if it may be a system where there's not even any station. Oh no, we've got some stations. Let's see what we've got there. So extraction and refinery. So refinery is a possibility. I mean that was a possibility, wasn't it? But I just got a feeling that we're going to get more profit out of industrial. So I'm going to bother with that one. I'm going to try and find somewhere else. This one we can't get the information for. As you can appreciate, I am kind of winging this straight off, so I haven't planned it. It's not a Blue Peter job where there's one I made earlier. I'm literally just making this up as I go along, so you have to bear with me a little bit. Aha! Chapman Terminal. So that's a good one, because they're combined refinery and industrial. So there should be a really good demand on that product there. This is a slightly annoying point, is you lose where you were. Was it that one? It's just, so what I should have done really is selected it, and then it won't change. I'm just going to double check. Yeah, okay, so that was it. Chapman Terminal. So that's where we're going to head for. So we're basically going to plot a route to LP69416, which we should be able to jump to directly looking at that, which is great as well. We're going to buy a load of those auto fabricators, and then we're basically going to travel there, and we're going to flog those, and we're hopefully going to make some serious dollar. So basically just going to fill up on these. So this is one of the suggestions I think that I've seen on the forum, is a buy all button. I thought they used to have that in Frontier, in the original game, but I mean it's been so many years since I played it, I can't remember. So fill up on those. So we've got full cargo hold full of those now. You can see that 112 auto fabricators. So we're all refueled up and we're all repaired, so we're good to go now. So I'm going to launch. And don't forget to add any comments or send me any questions that you might have, anything that might help. As I say, I'll stick the URL of that website on the video. Hopefully I'll remember that. If I don't, then please remind me, because that makes it easy for everybody to find that. It's just quite a good resource.
Ship released. Engines engaged.
I'm just going to get out of mass lock here. Little boost. Hopefully get away from the station. So we're away now, so I'm going to charge my FSD. Aha! So we can't use the FSD to jump there directly because we've got too much weight on board. So what we need to do is have a look on the map and see if there's somewhere that we can jump intermediately between. In fact, that might be a problem because it's fairly close. Okay, so let's have a look on the list of systems that we can go to on here. So I said we're making this up as we go along, so apologies, but you'll have to bear with me a little bit. So LHS 3470, is that anywhere near where we've got to get to, or is that even an option? Could we go there instead? Can't even see it. Right. So what I should have done really is checked the names of the systems I could actually get to first. So that's potentially closer to there, isn't it? I haven't got any system information on it, so we can't see whether that's an option to flog some stuff to. So that's less than 7 light years. So that other one must be further than that. Where's it gone now? I've lost it now. Okay, well, what we'll do is we'll jump here and then we'll take from there, really.
Frameshift drive charging.
So when we get here, we'll basically have a look and see where we can actually physically jump to. Hopefully we can get to that actual system now. So there's a few more in the list now, which is good. It's not actually reporting any places to land here. So any of these industrial? This one maybe. Volongu. So we could get there, because I remember seeing that in the list. Extraction refinery. So, worst case scenario, we could go to a refinery system and sell it there, but I'm not convinced we're going to make as much profit. So, extraction. So that's no good. What's the name of the other system that was in the list? Got a few actually. Volungu Furbade. Let's lock that in. Then have a look on the galaxy map. There it is. Furbade. Industrial refinery. Aha, we're in. So if we can get to Furbade and then we can land at Evinger Port. Those planets look really interesting as well, don't they? There, I've never been to this system before, so it's quite interesting. This is the fun thing about Elite for me, because you just never know where you're going to end up. Because obviously it's a completely open world game. There's areas of this game that people never have been to. 400 billion star systems. Nobody's ever been there, and nobody probably ever will. I just find that sort of awe-inspiring, really. It's just really quite exciting. So we'll get here, and then we'll land at that terminal, and then we'll basically sell those auto fabricators. You could be doing other things while you're doing this as well. Ideally when you trade, what you want to do is you want to sorry, I can't remember the name of that terminal. You want to find a nice route to a station that will make you profit, and then back to the same location. So you're just constantly buying and selling between the two economies. And making a profit on each run. That's the ideal, and you basically want to maximise Evinger Point. You want to maximise those profits. You always want to be using buying and selling commodities that have got the highest margin, basically. There is that. There it is. So Evinger Port, lock destination. Yeah, and in theory, I mean, if you're doing it this way, so this is a bit more kind of exploratory. I'm obviously just winging it and making it up as I go along to make it more kind of genuine to you guys when you're trying to find a nice little trade route. But but I could be doing other things at the moment. So I could be scanning the system if I had a discovery scanner, which is obviously the exploration role within the game, but there's no reason why I couldn't be doing that at the same time. Then I could be selling that data, making a profit on that, and on the commodities that I'm selling as well at the same time. So, you know, bear that in mind as well. You know, use your imagination a bit to make as much money as you can. The other thing I probably should have checked, which I didn't, was the bulletin board. Very often you see missions on there for carrying cargo, and it could have been that there was a cargo mission to this location. And another little tip is, once you find a good trade run, try and remember, albeit that I usually forget, but try and remember to check the bulletin board in each station, just to see if there's a mission that's going to the same place that you're going anyway, to basically take some commodities, or pick up some commodities from the place that you're going to and bring them back, because generally you'll find that those will pay significantly more than what you can make on just the simple buying and selling. You're generally talking about fairly small quantities, so sort of less than 20, but you'll find that they'll pay pretty well. So that's another thing to look out for, really. There's that blue planet, though. Very interesting. Right, overshoot that, as per usual. So I say, I've never been to this system before, so this is completely new for me, and obviously you're seeing this live on the recording, which I guess just makes it a little bit more interesting, really. Right, I think we're going to be a little bit close to this planet to maintain the speed we're going to want. Yeah, so what we're going to have to do is just fly out slightly and then fly back in, I think. Are these ships flying around? No, it's a planet, I think. Right. That's my target on Effinger Point now. Oh. No, I hadn't. My mistake, sorry. Probably could have gone in that time as well. So let's just do another pass around here. We should be heading in now. It's quite close to the planet, that one, actually. Right. Disengage the FSD. Sort of blue with black on it, isn't it? Very dark. And here we are. So let's go in and dock. And you can see my other tutorial, the first one I did, basically about docking at a station, just explains that. So I'm not going to talk through that too much as we are now. Hopefully we're going to go in here and we're going to make a tidy little profit on our was it auto fabricators? That's bad, isn't it? I'm trying to sell something, I can't remember what it was. Yeah, it was auto fabricators, just checked. A few ships around here, look. Let's hope he's not after my cargo. No, he's coming into to dock, I think, that guy. One thing I've got to say with the Type 6, I've had it for a few days now. I was in the Cobra before. It was so sluggish to fly. Really, really sluggish compared to the Cobra. The Cobra, you can really just sort of, and the Sidewinder as well, to be fair. You can just throw them around all over the place, but this thing is just, it's like flying a truck. I mean, it's great, don't get me wrong, because obviously 112 cargo spaces versus 60 in the Cobra is not something to be sniffed at, but it's really not the most fun thing to fly. So I think the sooner I can get rid of this and get onto the Asp, the better, really. I tend to one thing I do is I tend to have a habit of keeping all my old ships as well. Not a big fan of the old trading. I don't know why, really. I just think it's nice to have them. Now you've got the option to have them stored somewhere, I just think it's nice to have them in case you want to go back to them, really. Plus, you can obviously spec them for different roles. So, I've obviously still got my Cobra, so that I was using for trading, but all I got, obviously use this ship to get some serious cash, and then I can spec out the Cobra with some nice lasers and stuff, and probably go out bounty hunting or whatever, Yep, we better put the landing gear down, hadn't we? Always a good idea.
Landing gear deployed.
So, hopefully we'll find out now. Oh, just crashed slightly there. It's pretty normal though. So, into Starport Services. And I mean, this is the moment of truth, really, isn't it? Because if I try and sell this and I don't make a profit, then this tutorial's completely out of the water. And I'll be deleting it. So, Auto Fabricators, here they are. Sell. Profit 358. Well, it's not really as much as we expected, is it? But it's a profit. And like I say, you've got to kind of... as this is a basic tutorial, you've got to... You've got to go in a bit deeper if you want to maximise your profits as well. There's other things you've got to look at, and what I'll probably do is a more advanced tutorial at a later date, which goes into things in more detail. But I think 40 grand profit, not bad as a starting point for somebody who's just starting the game and is struggling to find out how you actually buy and sell and make money. That's hopefully quite useful. But as with all the other tutorials, if you've got any questions, then please drop me a message or drop me some notes on the tutorial, comment and ask questions, and don't forget to follow. And this is Commander Planet Robbo signing out.